What do you think of when you hear the word escort?
I don't think it's this, and definitely not this. It's most likely this. Yeah. When it comes to the sex work industry, Escort is always on top, condescendingly looking at and judging prostitutes, webcam girls, and other members of the oldest profession. This is one of those cases when girls not only wrinkle their noses and say, "I'm not a prostitute, I'm an escort girl." But as one classic said, there is always an ordinary chicken butt under every peacock's tail. The same goes for escort. Yes, you can earn lots of money, but at the same time it's crushed hopes, risk mixed with danger, and even more. You can get scammed. Today you will find out how to make money if God gave you a pussy, why things are not as good as they seem, and what sex work management market is like. I will tell you why Dubai is an escort cemetery, and of course about the inner working of male escort. This will be the most honest and open video on this topic, so watch it until the very end.
Ну а как для тебя воспринимался этот скачок? Ты же был, супер популярный. Ты выступал на разогреве у Джастина Бибера, и как после этого такой скачок? Фактически, можно же сказать, вниз.
Я просто трушно всегда делюсь тем, что у меня реально происходит. Я думаю, этим можно даже гордиться, что я не а продолжаю говорить, как сложилась моя жизнь.
Я развелась, мне ребенку уже 8 лет было, когда я пошла в эскорт.
Ага.
В эскорт идут не только 18-летние девочки. Я в эскорт попала в 25. Я себе сказала в 25 лет, что все, я заебалась встречаться с нищебродами. Я устала от этих маленьких мальчиков, которые зовут меня в пиццерию и что-то от меня потом хотят, и при этом не хотят на себя брать даже обязательств под названием отношения. Мне это было нафиг неинтересно.
Oh, and one important thing before we start. You see, to create the video like that, it takes really a lot of time, efforts, and money, obviously. And it's kinda sad and disappointing to see only 3,000 views after putting so much into this. So I'm gonna ask you one simple thing. I'm gonna ask you to interact with this video as much as you can. Write a comment, click like button, send this video to your friends. And I know it may sound like stupid, pointless bullshit to you, but unfortunately, that's the only way to show algorithms that it should promote this video to other users. Thank you. Getting into it is very easy, and the entry threshold is slightly higher than that of a drug dropper. There are lots of private Telegram channels where girls can find a way to earn some cash and get into adventures. They are not trying to hide like drug markets. You can find a job like that just by typing "wanna earn with my who to message" in the search bar, and you will easily find sites of agencies that explicitly say what they need from you. And let's not forget about pretentious wording and blatant gaslighting. The thing is, they don't use the word sex. You see, even I cannot pronounce it. You can thank the censorship for that. That's how the stereotype that there might be any in escort was born. But here they don't write about it just because they don't want to catch any criminal charges. If you want to get the attention of rich, respectable admirers, make money using your charisma and get the most out of your life. As you see, is not mentioned at all. Okay, but if you earn with your charisma, then why is it necessary to specify your bra size in the application form and not the size of your charisma?
Это чтобы тебе отдали денег, и тебе никто не платил. И у хороших эскортниц это получается, это я уже потом поняла.
So you message the number on the site, then you're contacted by a manager. You specify your body measurements, and you'll also be asked to make a video in your underwear showing off your model walk. You know, to see how you actually look in motion, if you are overweight or not, etc. Then you are registered in the database with a whole list of information in addition to your measurements and sexual preferences. International passport, visas, foreign language skills, and also your sports achievements can be a huge advantage. So you register, your profile gets into the database, and then all you can do is just wait for an invitation. Every agency has its own database for girls and for clients. When a client contacts a manager, they usually immediately specify their budget and say where and when exactly they need a girl. The agency sends them a list of profiles. The girls are usually picked up for one night, for a day, for 24 hours, or at least for a couple of hours. They don't like picking 1-hour stints, but spoiler, they still do it. The prices can be very different. It all depends on the agency and the girl's skills.
За сеанс вот 6000 евро, вот это был максимум.
Какими способами оплаты это все происходит? То есть тебе просто на карту кидают, или наличкой, или, может, криптой?
Не скажу. Это не скажу.
Ладно, а криптой было?
Блять, не скажу, отстань. Вообще крипта очень хороший способ перевести деньги из-за рубежа.
So, a client chooses a girl, her manager sends her to meeting up, and then the manager gets a commission fee. This fee can range from 30 to 50% and sometimes even more.
Очень много сутенеров в Дубае по девочкам, девочки все это прекрасно знают, кто в теме, и как бы они берут себе вообще 50%, они там охуевшие.
Girls usually don't have to share the gifts and tips they get.
Дорогой, наверное, мой подарок с эскорта были серьги Mercury. Стоили они, по-моему, 12 миллионов, что ли. Это мне вот подарил чувак просто за общение, у нас не было секса с ним.
If the agency is well known and their clients are from high society, the girl gets some instructions before the meeting. Who's gonna be present at the party, how she's supposed to behave, what she's allowed and not allowed to say. You know, so that she wouldn't accidentally ask the CEO of a huge company to give her a cigarette. Taking pictures is not allowed. Of course, you'd really wanna take a picture of a bucket with black caviar and post it to your Instagram stories, but many clients appreciate anonymity. That's where you can see these girls' provincial mindset that they are trying to hide really hard, but it gets pretty obvious. There are often lots of provincial girls in Escort who will gladly drink the whole Cristal and Moët Chandon bottles and eat all the sausage sandwiches based on the mindset, well, I probably won't get another chance to try all that. And they are also not against stealing a couple $100 from their clients' wallets. It's funny to go through the blacklists of Escort girls where you can see descriptions of how they fall down drunk, scream, have meltdowns, spit in swimming pools, etc. And now the prices. If it's just an ordinary attractive girl, the average price is gonna be about $400 for 2 hours. And let me remind you that about half of that goes to her manager. But these pretty girls might think, why on earth do I even need a manager? I already have my client's number. Now I'm gonna work with him directly and won't have to pay this enormous fee. So sometimes these girls drop their managers. This is a pretty standard thing whenever a middleman's involved. If this comes to light, the girl will be blacklisted, and then other managers will think twice before inviting her somewhere again. And her profile can be posted to different public groups or sent to her relatives. And no girl, I think, wants her profile to end up in a group full of people from her tiny hometown. Of course, it doesn't always work. There are a lot of managers, so it's unlikely the girl will end up jobless. And some big pages in social media that shame girls like that and don't give a shit about their anonymity can actually inadvertently give them a great career boost. And speaking of blacklists, not only bad escort girls can't end up there, but also bad clients. If the manager is good, they won't send their girl to a blacklisted client. By the way, a manager, if someone hasn't gotten it yet, is just a prettier way of saying pimp. Very often they are also women and former escort girls. When they get too old, they become scouts and look for new ones to replace them. And to think that some people say there is no career advancement and there is nothing to do in 15 years when no one wants them anymore. Of course, girls can work directly with clients. Praise the progress, nowadays Instagram is like an escort shopfront and everyone knows what DM any job offers and pictures from Dubai actually mean. There is a lot of info online claiming that lots of famous people are involved in escort and that an experienced manager or a great agency can organize a meeting with basically any celebrity. It all depends on how much money you are willing to offer. As we all know, the internet is a huge collection of copy-paste information, so it would be wrong not to debunk the stereotypes that are associated with this profession, and especially ones that escort girls themselves keep afloat. The first stereotype that literally became a whole brand is the phrase "I'm paid for accompanying them, there might be no sex if I don't want it." Escort girls are very often equipped to geishas, like they also can drive men crazy even without having sex with them. But escort girls have absolutely nothing in common with them at all. So let's make this clear once and for all, and honestly say that escort without sex is a myth.
If you were chosen by a rich old man and he didn't get to fuck you because he fell asleep, that's just the way this particular man's body works.
And also, if you and some other girls are booked by some sheikh and taken to a yacht and he just didn't have enough time to get to you because he had to pray or something else, this doesn't mean anything. Of course, escort is not just about sex. You also gotta spend time with them. But it's not just about blending in with a glass of champagne at some party like a movie extra, as many people think. Extras are those who came to listen to Putin's speech, but they were given buckwheat with tea for that. And if you get a lot of money, you definitely won't get away with just standing around pouting your lips. The same goes for the stereotypes that escort girls are booked to go out with them.
Everyone understands how things works, and coming with a girl like that to some fancy event will be seen as really tacky.
It's like buying a fake Rolex watch. You feel good about yourself, but everyone knows the truth. The same goes for the stereotypes that many rich men have no one to talk to, and they book girls just to talk to them.
Что можно вообще с мужчинами просто общаться, можно с ними угорать. Большинство мужчин, заказчиков, это люди за 40, у которых уже, проблемы с потенцией объективно. Это не молодые мальчики, которым там нужно тебя ебать всю ночь. Тем более с высоким бюджетом, это точно так. И, возможно, эскорт сейчас — это возможность побухать просто с чуваком определенного ранга, уровня, то есть,
Interacting with people, talking, telling stories, this is what people do, right? But that is not what escort girls are paid for.
The next stereotype goes in the same pile, that escort girls should act like they graduated from the Institute for Noble Maidens, speaking different languages and my favorite phrase, having the ability to hold a conversation.
But all those escort girls whose interviews I watched didn't really give me the impression of being eloquent in any way.
Escort is the same as prostitution. But the girls involved in it for some reason start thinking they are some expensive commodity and try to sell themselves for a higher price.
And of course, because they have this high image of themselves, sex doesn't really fit into this self-perception, because it would mean they are being used. And every escort girl believes, or at least want to believe, that she is the one who uses people, not the other way around.
Watch any interview with an escort boy or escort girl, and they always tell stories about some millionaire asking them just to tickle his feet, massage his earlobes, and then paying 50 grand just for that. And of course they don't mention the fact they were thoroughly digged down in a sauna the day before. Well, I hope you get the idea.
So they make money with blood and sweat, and also other bodily fluids. Yeah.
Это, как ты сказал, был случай без секса.
Мы там все там прессовывали друг другу, по лайту, да, то есть все обнимались, но прям там как бы не было, не знаю, но я за 6 тысяч евро не против, в принципе, и поебаться.
And the way escort girls come up with excuses for their big salaries is a whole different topic. One is an administrator, and the other creates designs for international companies.
So guys, if your girlfriend suddenly started making lots of money, often flying somewhere for business trips and saying she got promoted at work, then maybe you gotta pay more attention to her life.
I think we debunked some stereotypes, and now that we got rid of all the pretentious facade and all of this doesn't look as appealing anymore, let's try to understand what the work process is actually like. Big and wealthy cities like Dubai offer a couple of options for working in escort. The first one is a party.
You go there with your manager, who is literally showing you off, and they are trying to find a rich man for you.
Obviously, men are trying to knock off the price, and while you're sipping your cocktail at the bar looking all snobby, and all the guys around you think, wow, she's so unattainable, some man on the other side of the room is trying to book you for a lower price.
And managers at those parties don't stand their ground and actually do lower the price, just to get the client away from other manager. This is what one of the girls said on the forum.
There are lots of girls and not that many clients. 4 out of 7 girls got picked. The 3 of us plus the manager are going home, and we see a group of drunk guys. The manager talks to them, not in English, and then tells me I'm spending time with them till the morning for 800 AED. 3 of us, till the morning, for 800 AED.
You don't really wanna go to party after this, right?
The second option is a hotel. You get to Dubai and check into a hotel.
You are supposed to be stuck in there and can't go out, because what if a client suddenly comes over and you are not there? You can be fined and banned for this, which means you won't be working for a couple of days.
You're supposed to share the hotel payment with your manager, but very often girls have to pay for it themselves, and they get the other half only if everything goes according to plan.
That's exactly where scammers comes into play. They pretend to be managers and can trick girls, transfer money for the hotel and then ghost them.
The downside is that the manager usually is not nearby. They're looking for Dubai clients and can actually be in a different country. So the girl is all alone fending for herself.
Бывают такие разные наебки, там кто-то разводит подружек моих, там положили им перед ними рюкзак с бабками, да, то есть 5 тысяч или 10 тысяч долларов в Дубае. И он сказал, сейчас я одну потом заплачу. В итоге он одну спрятал рюкзак, вторую и говорят, идите отсюда, а то я сейчас полицию вызову. То есть таких полно случаев.
То есть деньги всегда берутся наперед.
Да, девочка приехала, и он ей из окна говорит, потанцуй для меня, типа, бля, и, за свои деньги на такси нельзя тоже приезжать. Потанцуй для меня из окна, говорит, типа, иди отсюда. Они же любят меркантильных баб наказывать.
And the police is definitely scrolling escort sites. They can easily come over pretending to be clients and then demand a bribe, free sex and even cover up for you, or become regular clients without paying. It's even more upsetting when scammers do this. They show fake documents, act like they're busting you and demand special treatment for not arresting you on the spot. This can happen in apartment hotels if the administrator didn't set up the necessary security measures and sends clients with no background check. So if you get some junkie or an entitled hunk, you'll have to deal with the situation on your own. Of course, not all of them are aggressive, but we're not talking about completely zoned out guys high on hard drugs.
These are elite drug addicts who will gladly offer you a line of coke. And that's how escort girls can become addicts themselves.
There is even a term called chemsex. It's having sex while you are high.
And many clients are not against snorting coke. And escort girls even have a special trick for this.
You go to the bathroom, put a piece of cotton up your nostril, then snort the line and all the coke ends up on the cotton. Why do all of this?
Well, because lots of clients wanna steal everything from the room while the girl is unconscious.
To find clients for you, the manager has to put ads everywhere, so there is absolutely no anonymity. They don't really care if you get a client or not. They have 20 more beautiful girls just like you, and if 5 of them get a client, it's already good. That's why the forums are full of messages talking about beautiful girls coming to Dubai and going completely broke.
Работаешь, эскорт — это вип-тиндер, понимаешь? То есть ты благодаря эскорту можешь найти себе просто богатого мужика. Но эскортница сосет за $1000, ты не увидишь там Москва-Сити, Картье, каких-то вот таких вот овер-вещей.
Хочу сказать, что все, что я говорю сегодня, да, то есть кажется, что эскорт — это так охуенно, так круто, но это все полный дёж, и на самом деле там очень много боли, одиночества, и деньги эти не всегда приходят. В 99% случаев приходится как бы по $1000, это в лучшем случае, да, то есть это не все так шикарно, потому что в эскорте, когда рассказывают про эскорт, все любят преувеличивать, говорить, вот он мне столько дал денег, ой, так круто, а на самом деле это одиночество, ты ждешь в своем номере, пока тебя кто-то снимет, не всегда есть бабки на еду, там, на отеле, но ты продолжаешь как бы эскортить, да, то есть, разные бывают случаи.
And one more thing. After Russia started the war in Ukraine, Russian girls started to get treated much worse, and some of them admit that they have to talk only in English.
Otherwise, there is a risk that their drunk client will remember his great-grandmother's Ukrainian heritage, get angry at you and say, "Take off your pants now, I'm gonna show you a real invasion." And the third option is apartment hotels. This is like a pussy party when you rent a room in a hotel with lots of girls. Well, you know, this kind of slutty co-living situation. The pros: apartment hotels are inexpensive advertising on private paywall sites and groups with regular clients. Your living conditions in an apartment will depend on the administrator. It might have prison vibes where they will control what you eat and when you go to bed, or it can look like a fun slumber party. You are taken to the client by a driver/security guard. He is also the one who picks you up. You get paid like it's an ordinary job, twice a month.
And it's better to send the money home right away, because your clients or your female colleagues can steal everything on the last day of your trip while you are asleep and disappear like in the movie Trainspotting.
More experienced girls ask to send pictures of the apartment hotel in advance and find out how many other escort girls are gonna be there.
But this is what happens often.
Then the 3 of us slept on a double bed, and the new girls were on the floor. 14 people in 3 rooms, all cramped, but we pay for it as if we're living in a castle.
There is one more option for the most reckless ones: coming completely unprepared and looking for everything yourself. But there is a big chance you won't get paid, you won't find any clients, or you will be sold into slavery. Choose whatever your heart desires. Many people, when they hear about the Maldives, immediately imagine an island with bounty chocolate and coconuts, not even knowing that the Maldives is actually a Muslim country. There is no alcohol there and very strict rules. And you can't fully spread your wings in Escort if it's an Islamic country. For example, in Lebanon you can get sentenced to a couple of months in prison for your oldest profession. And while I was scrolling the forums, I found lots of messages about girls being arrested in Saudi Arabia.
My friend spent 7 months in prison there. She was treated terribly. She turned from a beautiful young girl into a scarecrow. Bribes and a lawyer helped her get out of there.
And even a camel can be accepted as a bribe.
I'm not joking. Camels are kinda like a currency there and can be sold at the price of a car. Escort is seen in different light in different countries. In Hong Kong, you can get sentenced to 3 months in prison. In Shanghai, 15 days. But they are worse than those 3 months because the conditions are terrible. In the US, you get arrested for 1 day, but you will have to attend mandatory courses that will teach you how to be a noble maiden. Just imagine you're going to look for a better life, wanting to show off your pretty smile and fake tits, and coming back with a criminal record. Unfair.
Тебе вообще не страшно там этим заниматься? Там же сроки дикие.
С геями все проще, потому что их, клиент заказал тебя, он не может задавать, что он гей, там очень это все секретно с геями, а с девочками, да, их иногда закрывают, опасно подставляют. Это опасно, да, в Дубае.
By the way, one more unusual type of escort that's not considered as such by the people involved is sex work management. There are sites where people look for regular workers who can also provide sex services, like a secretary or a nanny. I like this one. Duties just taking care of the kids and once a week taking care of the daddy.
And taking care of the dad does not mean passing him the TV remote control and pouring him beer. Luxury life. Well, at least their dad didn't get abducted while getting milk ages ago.
It's so funny that they constantly try to convince everyone that they have nothing to do with escort and act like they disapprove of it.
Doesn't matter how you call it, the essence stays the same.
And of course, for pay management is also full of scammers, can't avoid it. Classic case, a girl sends her nudes for a profile and scammers then blackmail her, threatening to leak the pictures. Same goes for escort.
But the main goal and dream of many escort girls and sex workers is finding a sugar daddy, or even a couple of them, who will fully provide for her.
И сколько таких папиков должно быть у порядочного эскортника, чтобы нормально себя чувствовать?
Да, большинства, 99% нет таких папиков, потому что эскорт в Москве по 5-10 тысяч рублей сейчас, как бы, да. Но там очень сложно, получается. Он опять хочет ебаться, получается, а ты уже хочешь за это что-то получить, потому что вы, типа, уже дружите, да, но ты привык к тому, что за секс ты получаешь подарки и бабки. И очень многие папики начинают разводить, типа, дружить с тобой, и думают, что этих подарков, но они подарками перекроют секс, как бы, да.
There is absolutely nothing romantic about it. If you become a sugar baby for some rich man, you won't have to sleep with dozens of men anymore and won't encounter any deranged clients. You get full financial support from a sugar daddy. You're happy and everything is great, but there is one important detail. These girls' careers are short.
Ну, я с бывшим была 3 года, его посадили потом. С теперешним я уже 5 лет. Ну, то есть вроде как чуть-чуть все хорошо. Я постучу на всякий случай. Боже, храни царя.
After hitting 25 years, it gets difficult for escort girls to compete with younger ones.
Anyone who is working in this sphere will tell you it's not like that at all, that there are 40-year-old and experienced 50-year-old escort women and men who are still very popular and get the amount of money younger workers couldn't even imagine. But still, it's very, very rare.
Because gerontophilia, love for older women, is not very common, more like a rare kink. An average client is a 30 to 45 plus year old man who doesn't really like women his own age. And when there is no demand for you, you gotta adapt and figure out how to earn without easy money. And as we know, the easier it was for you to make money earlier, the harder it will be to find a regular office job. Your perspective has shifted, you have a different mindset and all that. So you gotta get married when you're still young. But unfortunately, those stories about men falling for escort girls are something from cheap romance novels, not real life.
So one of the usual paths for the girls who were ruined by easy money and then retired is
It is drugs, alcohol, rehabs, and then again and repeat. But who's gonna remember them when they have already been replaced by beautiful, naive and young girls with fire in their eyes?
Вот ты говоришь, ты сильная, ты независимая. Вот. А когда вот попадают в эскорт не такие, когда попадают слабые, слабохарактерные, что с ними происходит? Эти все пролитые слезы?
Слабохарактерные в него не попадают. Слабохарактерные остаются сидеть дома и вязать носки. Если ты уже пришла в эскорт, это значит, ты нашла менеджера, нашла что как, все выяснила. То есть это достаточно сложная тема. Знаешь, можно сделать аллегорию с наркотиками. То есть, слабый человек их просто не найдет. Если человек их уже нашел, он уже сильный. Знает девочка некоторые жизненные законы.
Знаешь, если человек сильный, если человек нашел наркотики, значит, он уже сильный. Ну ты чего?
Почему я могу найти барыгу, а менты нет?
Вот по твоей же аналогии с наркотиками можно же сказать, что сильный человек, он эти наркотики сам и искать не будет, понимаешь? Вот то же самое и с эскортом. Сильная девушка, как ты говоришь,
приходят разные,
с сильным
абсолютно
характером.
разные. Нет какого-то типажа, который вот это 100% эскортница. Но я тебе скажу, что типа тихих мышей очень... Я не могу сказать, что я видела хоть одну, на самом деле, тихую мышь. Нет, это девочка, которая приехала, готовая заняться сексом с незнакомым человеком. Ну, камон, о каких тихих мышах мы говорим, если это поступок, на который тихая мышь вообще не способна?
Ну, просто смотри,
Вообще никаких проблем.
у меня немного диссонанс возникает, когда ты говоришь, что все вот так просто, все легко, просто нужны тренинги, понимаешь? Но мы смотрим на твою
просто
же жизнь.
Просто надо быть красивой, с красивым телом. Я же, ну что на мою жизнь? Я в эскорт попала до всей моей жизни.
Я имею в виду, мы смотрим на все то, через что ты прошла. Ну, согласись, не было же легко. Возьми ту же тайскую тюрьму. Это же чистый ад на земле.
Слушай, это не про эскорт вообще тему, правильно? То есть, типа, вот это было тяжело, но тут платный секс не был замешан.
Ну, тебя же завело сюда, это же как причинно-следственная связь, именно эскорт туда тебя привел.
Нет, меня туда привел долбоеб пикапер, который решил через меня наехать на олигарха, понимаешь? И который решил, что это сойдет ему с рук. А я наивная дура. Да, был такой период в жизни, 100%.
There is this pretty saying, escort is for girls who love money, but don't need them. Unfortunately, this love leaves very few of them unscathed. And that's probably it for today. As always, send this video to your friends who are also Instagram models but not escort girls. Subscribe to my Twitter page, and as always, see you in the next video.